Hello and welcome back to Tanya's Beauty Box. I am Tanya and today I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to show you my eyeshadow palette collection. I'd have some single shadows, but I'm not going to put that in here right now. I'll probably do that I think I have a video on single eyeshadows and then did a look with them, with some of them. So you can check that out on my channel to get to that. What is this? I'm getting gray hairs, y'all. I have two up here, two little bitty baby gray hairs. Excited. Um, this was asked of me by Dion Loves Makeup. Um, I don't have the normal kind of setup that most people do when they show their collection, like they move about the room and pull out drawers and show palettes. I did the opposite. I pulled out the drawers with the palettes and brought it to my setup. So I will be getting up during the video to get different drawers to show you. I don't have a lot of palettes. Um, and okay, so I don't have a lot of palettes, but I have too many palettes. I don't know if that makes sense. I probably have more palettes than the average person, but not as many palettes as makeup gurus. And they're not all the latest and greatest palettes. I'm not going to spend time swatching anything. I'm going to just show you the drawer, and then we'll go through the palettes, and then we'll be moving on. So this will be a lengthy video. Also, today is the 22nd, which is the last day of my giveaway. So this video will be going up prior to the giveaway ending at 3 o'clock today, which is the 22nd of July. And I hope that you enjoy looking at my palettes. I enjoy looking at them every once in a while just to see what I have. I know I always tell you what's on my lips. It's nothing grandiose today. I just spent like 10 minutes looking for my last lipstick that I used in a video, and it was somewhere where it should have been, but I did not pay attention, and yeah, I just opened up a bunch of stuff and now I have a lot of cleanup to do. But today, because I don't like liquid shadows, I got this melted chocolate matte eyeshadow from Too Faced in the shade Chocolate Wine. That's the color there. And I got it and I was like, I don't like liquid shadows. What am I going to do with this? And I decided, well, it's a fairly rosy toned color. So I put it on my lips to use as a liquid lippy. And because I'm not a big liquid lippy person, what I did then was take Fenty Slip Shine lipstick in Goji Gang and I went over it with this color. So what I have on my lips is this as the base color, which is the actual liquid eyeshadow, matte. And then this Slip Shine to give it some shine and a little bit of life to it so it won't look so dry and unappealing. I prefer a cream, a semi-matte, or definitely a gloss lippy. I feel a little overwhelmed with what I have to do here. So let's start with the smallest thing. I got this little bag from a Mega Drop Shop from BoxyCharm. and it was filled with some eyeshadow brushes, and I then filled it with palettes. So the palettes that are in here are the Viseart Professional Makeup Ciate palette. I have another Viseart Petites Matte Dark palette. The Cupid palette by Natasha Denona, which is in one of my, which is in my giveaway box because they sent me one by mistake or on purpose. The Complex Culture Full-Time Eyeshadow Palette Edit 3. And a palette I have absolutely no idea what to do with, which is the Jubilee palette. This is a palette that I picked from Ipsy. It was one of my choices. And I had no, it was like, how do you pass up a Natasha Denona palette? But then, what in the world do you do with it once you get it? I'm going to show you my main palette drawer, which is this one here. And this houses a lot of my ABH, Too Faced, and Urban Decay palettes. So let's go through this really quickly. I also have a bunch of the Huda Obsessions. I have the Warm, the Amethyst, the Smoky, and the Moles. I have two palettes from Bare Minerals. They're Gin Nude. This was a few years ago. I have Copper and Latte. These are difficult to open. So this is Latte. This is Copper. I think this is probably one of the reasons why these didn't sell well. These are pretty good palettes. This is Copper. From an obscure brand from Fiona Styles. They used to sell this in Ulta. This is the Electra palette. I really like the color story in it. Okay. I have a Smashbox palette. This is the Ablaze Palette. This might be a two-part video. I don't want to make it too long. I'm not swatching, but I'm showing, so that's making it longer. I have the Viseart, I don't want to say Viseart, Viseart Petite Pro 2 palette. I also have another Viseart palette in the Pro 3. I have the Autobomb Pick Perf. This came in a Ipsy Glam Bag Plus, of course. Let's see what else here. I have the Violet Voss Essentials palette. My coveted Master Palette by Morello from ABH. One I'll never get rid of. Really like these colors. They kind of get washed out by my lights. Jackie Aina palette. Soft Glam. The Norvina. This was a holiday palette. This is the Prism palette. I'll show this because not many people have it or remember it. It's beautiful. I just don't know what, a lot of these things I don't know what to do with. And the infamous subculture. I have the chocolate gold palette. The original big clunky junky Too Faced chocolate bar. The sweet peach. And my only Urban Decay Naked palette is the Heat. I'll show this since it's in here from Marc Jacobs. I have the Mercier Omega shadow. This is a gel powder shadow. And I like to use this for crease and outer work. I have the Ace Beauté Vintage Dawn. Beautiful, beautiful palette. The Nightingale palette by Pretty Vulgar. I don't even think they sell this anymore. This is neutral, as neutral is gonna get for me. I love this one by Pretty Vulgar. This is the Phoenix Rising palette. Beautiful colors. From Dominique Cosmetics. Got this through a BoxyCharm. So this is like a mini of her Celestial something or other palette. But there you go with those colors. One of my higher end palettes from Huda Beauty, the Desert Dust palette. You would think I would use some of these things, but I just like to look at them. Every once in a while I'll go through and look at them. And my only no matte palette, which is Berlin Underground. So this is my main palette drawer. This is the drawer I go to when I'm trying to figure out what to do. The next drawer that I go to is this drawer here. So now we're gonna see odds and ends of things. These are in no particular order. They're just stuff that I stuffed in the drawer. I have the Smashbox Bold Eyeshadow Palette. I'm not sure that they make these anymore. This is my color. This is the reason why I don't buy colorful palettes. I don't use this one. I did a video maybe about a month or two ago on the smoked palette. This is the original smoked. I know that they came out with a different one, the naked smoked. This is the original smoked palette from Urban Decay. So I have two. A palette nobody really knows what to do with from Fenty. Got this in a premium box. It was a premium takeover by Fenty from BoxyCharm. The colors are beautiful. The formula leaves a lot to be desired. I had the Meat Matte Nudes, and this was when I was going to work every day, getting up at 6 or so to make sure I was doing my makeup. So I hit pan at least on one. I use this a lot because they're all matte, so they're good to use when you don't have other, like you have a palette that you don't know what to do with because it doesn't have any mattes for your particular color um, story you're trying to create. From Winky Lux, I have the Kitten palette. Now, a lot of these things, I'm not sure if they still sell. I got them in like sub boxes. This is the Crown Pro Glam Metals palette. It has like a little guitar mirror there. This was something that I fell in love with when it first came out. This is Ciate London with Chloe Morello, the Pretty Fun and Fearless palette. This was a big hit a while ago, such a long while ago. A palette, I don't think I've ever used this. This is the Violet Boss Holy Grail palette. I think I've only swatched this palette. This is a palette that I really, really enjoyed. This is from BH Cosmetics. It's the collab between It's My Ray Ray and BH Cosmetics. And it opens up like a trifold. And it has, facial products and eyeshadows. From Alamar, I have the Reina del Caribe palette. I don't know, this might be, I don't want to speak too quickly. This might be my only Jaclyn Hill palette. This is from Morphe when she had that vault. And the only one that I was interested in two, but I had the one that had the purples in it. With the I just figured that I had a lot of those colors throughout my situation, so I opted for the Dark Magic palette instead. From Zoeva, Wanted to Love, Do Not. The Cocoa Blend palette. They're just two, and I swatched them, so I can't give them away. I would love to give them away. They just hold up dust here. And this is the Caramel Melange. Alrighty. Caramel Melange. I didn't learn my lesson from the larger Fenty palette and went out and bought one of those snap shadows. I got it in the Color Story 3 Deep Neutrals. I really like the color story. It's just that the shadow itself leaves a lot to be desired. I wouldn't purchase another one. From Juvia, I have the chocolates. Natasha Denona, I have the Cranberry Palette. I created this Buxom palette a long time ago. Don't ask me about the color story. I think I was just picking up colors that I liked. They don't go together in any kind of way. Well, there are some colors in here, like these two purples, that you could put together. And then it does have a very nice transitional shade there. And this like green vintage gold. So they're nice shadows. You can create your own palette and just slide them in. That's fun. I got a happy birthday palette from NYX. This is from Ulta from years ago. I know people were kind of upset that the July month got this particular palette and they were getting like Smashbox silicone primer. So I lucked up once um, from Ulta with getting this birthday palette. What is this? Oh, this is the coveted Laura Mercier Eye Art Artist Palette. I can get it open so I can show you guys. That's this like flap. Everybody at one point had this particular palette. It has African violet in it and some very muted purples. I also need to let you know that I have a drawer full of palettes at my job because sometimes when I didn't have time to do my makeup completely, I would finish it at work. From Juvia's Place, we have the Nubian. This is like a little mini of the Nubian. So these are some nice little colors here. Rock Pro Metal Palette. Beat up, not because I've been using it. I think the shades were just so soft that, yeah, they kind of like started to crumble. Now, this is something that I wouldn't have purchased on my own at all. This came in a BoxyCharm, I'm going to say. This is from Laura Lee. And this is the Party Animal palette. And the colors are very bright and beautiful. But I wouldn't have purchased it on my own with all that drama and stuff that they had going on. I didn't want to give anybody in my ducats. From Pure, the Transformation palette. This has some creams. These three at the top are creams, and these are shadows. The colors aren't coming off as rich as they are, but yeah. So that's that. And then I have two Makeup Geek palettes that I made for myself. This was prior to the announcement that Makeup Geek was going out of business. Okay. So that's that. And this is the hard part, getting this stuff back in here the way that it was prior to me taking everything out. I have one more, just one more situation. One more, what you call it? Drawer. Get that in some. And this is an overflow drawer as well. I just had to have this palette. I don't know why, but it's the Violets from Juvia's Place. The Glam Face palette from Natasha Denona. Super duper awesome if you can get your hands on it. All in one. The old school Vanity palette from Wet n Wild. You guys remember this? Everybody was chomping at the bit to get their hands on that particular palette. Woo! The One palette by Lawless. This is the Baby. What is this? Oh, after they did announce going out of business, I got a blush and this color shadow here, which is Grape. From Ofra, I have the Signature palette in the shade Symphony. Trying to work fast. From Violet Voss, something that else came in a sub box. This is the I Love You Forever. Olive, word I love you. This is a great little palette. This is from Sigma. This is the warm neutrals. They now have like a single, instead of 14 shadows, I think they have a 7 shadow pan of that. I have these little bites from e.l.f. They're cute and useful. For Natasha Denona, I have the Coral palette. I think this is my favorite one, the Coral. For Natasha Denona, the Peak palette. From Posner, taking you way back. This is the Terra collection. From El Maquillage, this is the color Nude Splash. I didn't know that was in there. So like I said, this is like an overflow. There's no telling what's in here. From Milani, I have an eyeshadow duo in Soulmate. These are some palettes that were made when it was single eyeshadows were all the rage. From not Natasha, Anastasia Beverly Hills. Here's another. Some Mary Kay shadows. It will be the ones on the sides here with some singles put in between. You can see I dug in deep some of these Mary Kay shadows. Another Z palette. This is from the Pinky Rose collection. This is their Sunflower palette. I just took because it was a big circular palette. They've since condensed it to a square pan palette. So this is the Sunflower palette. Again, single shadows in the Z palette from Sephora. From the Lip Bar, we have the brown Bombshell palette. I'll let you see what it looks like here. Good golly, Miss Molly. Well, that's pretty. Hank and Henry, we have the Living in Color, and I use this in a Get Ready With Me or Beauty Bite a few months ago. So you can check that out. All these palettes and things are like so reflective. From Viseart, this is the Neutral Matte. This came from BoxyCharm. Again, after the announcement that they were going out of business. I got a blush that I have yet to use, like the other one from Makeup Geek. These are just some random shadows. This is a random magnetic palette. I don't know where these colors came from. They are probably, I don't know. Let's see if I can pick one up and see where it came from. Nope. No idea. They might be, I don't want to say, not ColourPop. What was it? Coastal Scents. So these probably some Coastal Scents. Hot Pots. I have some type of metal marbled metal, Ciate London, Wicked Shadow. From Orisia Beauty, we have the Astral Amethyst palette. This is a big old, ain't no telling where these shadows came from. I know this right here is more than likely a color called Country Girl from Makeup Geek. Yeah, I've dug into these shadows. Almost to the end, guys, gals. From Ulta, we have a metallic palette. A palette I have no idea what to do with, but I kept it because I like the packaging. This is the Too Faced Natural Matte. It will do nothing for my complexion, yet it still smells good and it's pretty. I should have included this in the giveaway, and it might show up in it, so as a surprise. There's nothing I can do with that. From NYX, these were very, very popular way back in the day. The little trio shadows. This is the shade Rock and Roll. And last, and this is from my Shayna B, the Miami palette. Need to get rid of this too. There's nothing I'm going to do with it. Maybe I'll start saving up for a new, what you call it, a new giveaway for these palettes. And last but not least, I have a little bag of palettes. I hope it's palettes in here. I didn't check. I just grabbed. So from NYX, we have the Off Tropic palette. Beautiful colors. Beautiful, beautiful colors. Then we have the Ace Beauté Nostalgia. Then the Pure Festival 2.0. Those are the colors in the back. From Hip Dot, we have the Zion palette. This isn't taking as long as I thought. Thought I'd be here like an hour or something. It's going to take 10 hours for it to upload. My internet is slow. Put this back in the sleeve. From Eloise, we have the Queen palette. I've used this maybe once or twice. That's the Queen palette. From Cara Beauty, I received this from Monique Jones, who is now Dorliza Jones on YouTube. This is the Cara Beauty Bright and Brilliant palette, or Make a Statement palette. Look at those beautiful colors there, especially this one here. Then I have the Starry Eyes palette from Cara Beauty. And last but not least, the Transition palette from Dominique Cosmetics. Has a lot of, now this first row is suspect, but the second and third I should be able to do something with. That's it. That's all I got. So like I said before, I don't have a lot of palettes, but then I don't not have a lot of palettes. I have palettes more than the average person probably has, but then not as much as someone that loves makeup and does um, provide YouTube content here on the YouTube space. So I want to thank you so much for taking out these 30 or 40 minutes to look at all the palettes that I have. I didn't swatch anything. I'm sorry. That would have just made it so much longer. Um, this doesn't include all the palettes that I have that I put into my giveaway. I think this is it. I'm trying to think if I got palettes anywhere else. Everything else I have are single shadows, and I've already done a video on those. So thank you so much. I appreciate your time. If there's a palette that I've shown that you would be interested in seeing a look with, please don't hesitate to make that known via the comment section. Yeah, that's about it. I hope you have a great day, night, or evening, or whenever you watching this video. I hope it was fun to watch. I'll see you in another one. Stay whimsical and let your inner whimsy shine. Bye bye.